Over 48 hours on, the rescue operations have reached a crucial stage. Officials say the chances of baby Akshata's survival look very bleak. Well, I'm joined by my colleague Akshata from the spot. Well, Akshata, what exactly is the situation now, Akshata?
Well, Michael, there has been a considerable delay, of course, but besides that, also, of course, considering that huge stone is in place, it's taking quite a bit of effort to drill that down. Officials who are present there, they were going ahead and handling it themselves, manually going ahead and breaking down that stone, but it looks like it's a bit too hard. Nearly 1.5 feet away from that borewell is the estimate, and at this point, they've had to go ahead and bring in the machinery once again, Michael. Considering the difficulties they were facing, they decided it's absolutely impossible for them to break it down, and hence they've used the drilling machine once again, and the officials are present there, rescue officials are present right next to that drilling machine to ensure that it doesn't drill in too deep, because if it reaches that borewell and continues, this is of course much lower, much deeper after where Akshata is said to be stuck at about 29 to 32 feet, and we are looking at these rescue officials at about 38 to 40 feet. So keeping that in mind, of course, if they do continue to drill too hard, she could fall right down. So they want to ensure that does not happen as well. But to once again highlight to you exactly how these rescue operations have been going through the day, Michael, they've been seeing these drilling machines come and go, the JCBs dig up and create a slope. Finally, of course, the officials started their work manually, and at that point it was said that they drilled about 12 holes, and at the 6th one they started getting a decayed smell, which indicated that that's where the body is. Unfortunately, it could also mean bad news that she hasn't survived, but the officials are not giving in. As of now, they're not giving up, and they're making it very clear that come what may, they will rescue her. Whether she's managed to survive or not, they want to pull out her body. Also, of course, the decayed smell is something that they're not thinking about too much, despite the fact that it is very strong. They're stating that it could possibly even be the fact that there is a lot of mud out there. They could, in fact, be also due to the issue of the rains creating a bit of sogginess and that kind of a smell as well coming out. So they're refusing to confirm whether, in fact, she's alive or not, considering they haven't seen her as such. So the rescue operations still continue. We could be looking at it going on for another hour or so, Michael, and this is simply because of that terrain that's proving to be such a handicap, such a difficulty to get past, Michael.
Well, Akshata, they said they had placed a few iron bars at the place where Akshata's body, Akshata was trapped. Now, even if she fell, she would fall on those iron bars. Is that still, are they still in place, or have they removed that and are focusing on drilling, Akshata?
Right, Michael, they were talking about that step, of course, to ensure that they ensure she doesn't manage to fall. But even for that, they need to drill through. They need to get those rods in, and they haven't managed to do that yet. So that is another issue, of course. They haven't done it yet. They will be doing it, of course, to ensure that she doesn't fall down. But for that, they need to go in a little deeper, and that's what they're trying to do, Michael. But it's getting increasingly harder. There are a number of issues that is, in fact, playing against them. One is, of course, considering the lack of light because it is night, and besides that there is the issue of this terrain. It's so full of stones that they're finding it difficult to get through, and besides that it rained in the evening as well. That too has proved to be a handicap. So a lot going against them, but they're refusing to give up. They've been working for so many hours now. It's been 48 hours since she fell into that particular borewell, and we could be looking at operations going on through the night, but the rescue officials are very, very clear that they want to finish it today, that they don't want to drag it any further, that they don't want to take it till tomorrow, Michael.
Well, Akshata, thank you so much for joining us with all those details on that story. Well, drilling operations still continuing at the place where Akshata has been trapped, and it would probably take another hour before they could actually reach the location of where Akshata has been trapped in that borewell. A chartered accountant was found dead in his apartment in Bengaluru 4 days ago. The Bengaluru police have finally cracked the case, and take a look as to what exactly happened.
June 15th, Sun City Apartments, Iblur HSR layout. 35-year-old chartered accountant Saurabh Rastogi was brutally murdered. After 4 days, the police have nabbed the murderer. And who was it? Rishwan Chengappa murdered Saurabh. Rishwan Chengappa is Saurabh's colleague. Yes, this was what the police discovered. What happened on June 15th? Saurabh's wife Ankisha was reportedly out of town that day. When Saurabh did not answer his calls that night, she asked the neighbors to check on her husband. The neighbors, finding the door locked, assumed that Saurabh was fast asleep. The police were informed the next day as no one had any knowledge of Saurabh's whereabouts. They forcefully broke into the house and found Saurabh's body in a pool of blood. They suspected that the murder was committed by someone known to the deceased as there was no forceful entry into the house. Bloodstains were also found on the lift buttons. Cops even questioned Saurabh's close aides regarding the incident. They approached Rishwan Chengappa too. Rishwan was a close friend of Ankisha as well. Rishwan's lady friend at office had apparently abandoned him and had gone abroad. It was then that Rishwan developed a relationship with Ankisha. Scared of losing Ankisha, Rishwan is said to have come up with a plan. On learning that Saurabh was alone at home, Rishwan is said to have gone ahead with the murder. Saurabh was murdered because his colleague did not want to lose Ankisha. C.R. Manjunath, News9, Bengaluru.
There is a ray of hope for the families of the 40 abducted Indians in Iraq. Take a look as to what the Ministry of External Affairs had to say today.
Let me assure you again that the Government of India is giving the highest priority to the welfare, security and safety of our nationals, and we will keep you informed of further developments.
Even as he assured us that, what is the status of the 40 Indians who have been abducted? Abducted Indians located. A ray of hope for families of missing workers. Look at these people sitting at the Gurdwara, praying hard, hoping against hope that their beloveds will return safe and sound.
ਦੁਆਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਮਾਲਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਹੀ ਸਲਾਮਤ ਘਰ ਆਉਣ। ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਕਰੀ ਹੀ ਦੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਆ, ਬੱਚੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤ ਹੋਣ, ਤਪਤੀ ਵਾਹ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੇ, ਮਾਲਕ ਹੱਥ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਲਿਆਵੇ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ। ਤੇ ਲਾਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ 17 ਤਰੀਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੜਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਬਾਤ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ 2 ਵਜੇ। ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ 41 ਬੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕੈਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਦ ਕੇ ਲਿਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲਿਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਧੱਕੇਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਜੋ ਫੋਨ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਜੋ ਲੈਪਟਾਪ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਖੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਾਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਾਤ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ।
ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਨਾਲ ਠੀਕ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਆ ਜਾਣ ਤੇ ਹਮੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਬਸ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ।
ਕੱਲਾ ਕੱਲਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੇਟਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਹੋਈ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਹੀ ਸਲਾਮਤ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਆ ਜਾਏ।
Now, there is indeed a ray of hope for these families. The status of the 40 abducted Indians is no longer a mystery. On a tip-off received by the Iraqi government, they informed the Ministry of External Affairs that the abducted Indians had been traced.
We have been informed by the Iraqi Foreign Ministry that they also have been able to determine the location of where these abducted Indian nationals are being held captive with workers of a few other nationalities.
Even as many Indians have returned home from the crisis-struck nation, there are still many who have decided to stay put, fearing abduction during transit. Remember that these 40 men were abducted by the Sunni militants when they were being evacuated. There are many Indians who want to return home, but their documentation is an obstacle. But the Ministry of External Affairs has provided them an assurance.
Documentation for Indian nationals is never an issue. अगर किसी को जो वहां हैं और कहीं और भी हैं इराक में डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की कोई जरूरत पड़े तो उनके पास कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स हैं, वो इमीडिएटली कॉन्टैक्ट कर सकते हैं।
The 40 men abducted are construction workers from Punjab. The Punjab government had urged the centre to show some urgency in rescuing the men.
और पहले भी सुषमा स्वराज जी ने मुझे टेलीफोन चंडीगढ़ में किया था कि मैं इस पर खबर सारी ले रहा हूँ, एक कर लेकिन आज हम दोबारा यहाँ कर सुषमा स्वराज जी जो फॉरेन अफेयर मिनिस्टर है तो सुधीर जी, मैं और नरेश कुमार हैं, तीनों उनको मिल गए।
There has been an unfortunate development today. Since the last few days, the government of India was sending out constant signals to the people in Iraq that all Indians should evacuate themselves and move out of Iraq. Unfortunately, there was some Indians, especially 40 boys from Punjab who were working with a construction company over there, who instead of sending them back to India decided to move them from Mosul to another city, which they said was safe. In transit, these boys were kidnapped, and as of now there is no information as to where they are and how they are.
And well, if you think that our country should take a neutral stand on the Sunni insurgency, that won't happen before our people are rescued and sent home. Reiterating that was Subramanian Swamy.
See, even today, Baghdad airport is in the control of American Air Force. And I think we should have a Air Force transport plane ready there with the support of some squadron of our MiGs and Sukhoi. And then we have to inform the ISIS that if they want India to be neutral, then they must hand over our people.
With the crisis hitting the borders of so many countries, when will Obama answer the wake-up call? Now that the US has decided to render support only if Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki resigns, the fate of thousands of Iraqis and many other nationals is still under threat. A News9 report.